Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a gym for all of your city building needs. Here is the amount of space required to make your build. Step 1, come all the way over to the front left hand corner of your grid, if you've made it, and count backwards from the corner 1, 2, 3, and then right by 1. We're going to start off by placing a white concrete on the ground. Place 2 glass to the right, 1, 2. Place a white concrete, and then a glass. Leave a gap of 1. Place a glass, white concrete, 2 glass, 1, 2. Place a white concrete, 2 glass, 1, 2, white concrete, 2 glass, 1, 2, 3 white concrete, 1, 2, 3. Extend that third white concrete backwards by 1, 2 glass, 1, 2, 7 white concrete, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 3 glass, 1, 2, 3, and then place 2 white concrete behind, 1, 2, and now all we're going to do is extend across the back of the build and we're going to join forwards because we're not going to include any windows on this side of the build or the back really, unless you want to. There are a couple of opportunities. I'll point them out when we get to them. Okay. All of the white concretes have to be raised up by an additional 2 rows, so 1, 2, and they want to be as high as this. So I always like to just make 1 row as high as everywhere has to be, and then you can just take a nice little quick look at it and just make sure that everything else is keeping up with it as we progress around the build. Although it's a little bit unnecessary, I will say, as it is only 2 rows. It's a bit more handy when we're dealing with, you know, quite a few rows and you don't want to have to like keep counting things out. You just want to be able to like look over there and be like, yep, it's all the same height. Like you don't want to have to make sure that you just want to be able to do things at a glance. So anyway, now that we have raised up all of the walls by 2 rows, we're going to place 2 rows of light grey concrete on top of the entire build. So this is just going to slide on over the exact same layout that we already have. So it's going to form all of the windows. It's going to be the exact same shape. It just looks a little weird because it's kind of like it's kind of like bridging all of the gaps that we have in between the glass, which I suppose we should do next, just to make this look a little bit nicer. So now that we've got our 2 rows of light grey concrete on top of our 3 rows in total of white, let's add all of this glass up. So all of the white glass just wants to get extended up towards the frame of the build. So you'll notice that there is one area in particular that has a little gap in it. That is where the entrance is going to be. We need the gap so we can actually get in. Unless you actually just want to place some proper doors on the build, which you can if you like, but I would prefer the idea of kind of like a glass door. Underneath all of the windows, whilst we're here, I'm going to place light grey concrete. It might have been a better idea to do this before we placed the windows because you've got to be a little bit more careful, but this basically just provides a little bit of contrast between the surrounding area and the white. So instead of just placing white upon white upon white, a little bit of light grey, you can see it just makes it look a little bit more interesting. Above the entrance of the gym, so basically from this white concrete to this one, I want to have 2 rows of blue concrete. Simple as that. I also want to have blue concrete coming out of each one of the 4 corners of the gym building. So this is going to, in placing these, we create a decent amount of depth because suddenly, if we have a look, so suddenly we don't just have a big smooth flat building, suddenly we've got a wall that is set 1 row backwards instead. I want to place upside down smooth quartz stairs all the way at the top of the gym like this. This is going to connect all of the rows of blue concrete that we already have together. So just like this. There we go. And again, it kind of just puts a little bit of a lid on things. It kind of just brings everything together, in my opinion. Above these windows here, I don't know why I want this, but I do. I want to have 2 rows of quartz slabs, specifically smooth so you can't see the connections, just hanging off of these windows. I don't know why, I just like the effect of it. We need a little bit of a pathway here, so this is going to be from the entrance just to the outside of the build, and then I just want to make it obvious that, like, this, well, honestly, this could be placed in a few different places. Like, if you wanted to add a car park to this, you certainly could. But my idea for this is quite simply that this would be just on a street or something like that. Like, it's not meant to take up a big amount of space. It's meant to be able to be slotted into your city rather easily, like into an actual city, rather than just like a town or on its own little... It doesn't need its own area. Like, this could easily be next to any sort of other store, you know? So anyway, now that we have done that, I think that it's time for us to add some end rods. These are going to be useful for a couple of reasons. Number one, door handles. I always like this decoration. I like a glass door with some end rods. I also want to create a barbell. So the barbell is made using 2 black concretes above the overhang here. It's 1 row away from the sign. It's pretty much just a black concrete inwards from 1 row from the overhang that we've created. And then here is what is tricky though, is I want to, and I'm trying to think of the best way to do this, I want to have the end rods placed in a specific sort of way, alright? So that isn't the way. So the way, this is not the way. So the way that I want to place them, I'm not sure how. Maybe I've got to place this here, and then this here. That's perfect. Okay, so I'll explain my reasoning for this in a second. I've already forgotten how I just did that. Okay, so do I place this here, and then that, and then that? Okay, perfect. So, if you guys have ever... I mean, that's good enough. No, it's not. It's not good enough. There we go, yes. Okay, so if you guys have ever like picked up a barbell before, you might notice that it has knurling, which is the textured part of the actual bar. That's like what you grip onto, and then there's like a set of smooth parts on the barbell. So that is why I want these particular end rods placed like that, because in my mind it's a little bit more accurate. It is the least important thing of all time, but to me, I just like the extra little bit of... I might as well be talking to myself. Okay, so I'm going to grab now the lime terracotta, green terracotta, terracotta itself, flower pots. I'm liking the flowering azaleas at the moment. Painting, and then we'll need to do some signs, but we'll grab that stuff in a little bit. So I want to just take out all of the grass for the gym, and it might not even make sense that the gym has grass. And now I'm thinking it might be a good idea to actually have instead kind of like a couple of bikes in front of the gym. So, you know, people might actually pull up and be able to actually, you know, lock their bike outside. So we might actually do that. Maybe like here we'll have like a little bike rack, but over here just to the right we'll continue with the original plan. So the idea is I just want a little bit of fake grass, which might not make sense in a city setting, and then a couple of terracottas in between the windows, flower pots on top, flower and azaleas in there. I just like the plant a lot. And then I want to have, I like this because it just seems like, you know how gyms have like posters and stuff, like it just seems like a gymmy sort of poster, you know? So over on the side here, it might make more sense to just like leave some smooth stone, and then maybe we can actually make a bike rack of some sort. Not 100% sure how I'm going to do that, but I'm sure I'll figure it out by the end of the video. When it comes to the rest of the gym, I'm going to recommend that you either fill the sides in using a terracotta. So I would use the dark one. I'm going to use the dark terracotta just to represent a little bit of grass, around just in between the build. But equally so, you can just place smooth stone. It really does depend. It wouldn't make sense to have the greenery, although you could still have the plant pots in a city, but it wouldn't make sense to have any sort of green depending upon where you're building this. But I'm sure that you guys will assimilate it into wherever you plan on placing this. So the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to make the banners. So there are actually a couple of tricky letters in here, all three of them. 3 tricky letters. We need a loom, white banners, black dye, and white dye. So we're going to throw the loom down, open it up, place a white banner, black dye in there. First letter's G. We need a vertical row of black on the right side, get rid of the black dye, put white in, make the upper half of the banner white, grab that, put that back in, throw white out, put black dye in, add a row of black dye across the bottom of the banner, vertical on the left, horizontal across the top, G. Next would be Y. We need a diagonal row of black dye, top left corner to bottom right corner, grab that, put that in, throw some white dye in there, and then we want to make the lower half of the banner white, put that back in, put the black dye in there, place the opposite diagonal, Y, and then the next letter is going to be M. So we need a triangle effect right at the top here. Grab that, put that in, throw the black dye out, put the white dye in, place the loads of mini triangles right up at the top, throw the white dye out, put the black in, vertical row of black on the right, vertical row of black on the left, boom, we have G. But if we rearrange these letters to G, Y, and M, perfect. And I think that this just makes a nice looking gym. I'm pretty happy. It's just a nice, modern, clean building, fits into the city perfectly. So, what are we going to be doing now that we've done all of that? Well, we actually have to make the stuff inside of the gym now. So, I'm actually going to get rid of this stuff just in my inventory, just so that we don't get too clogged up. And I want to mark out some of the areas that we're going to be making. So we need some blue concrete, we need some red concrete, and then we'll grab some other stuff as we get there. Come all the way to the back left-hand corner of the gym and move 1 row to the right. Destroy 3 rows, 1, 2, 3, and then destroy 4 rows extending 3 rows extending forwards, my bad. 1, 2, 3, like this. So in total, we want a 3 by 4 block area, just like this, right? Then we want to leave a gap of 2, so that'll be 1 and 2. And then we want to destroy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we want to dig 3 rows forwards, exactly how we have there on the left. But this time I'm going to place some red concrete in here. Feel free to make it all the same colour, but I'm kind of alternating between the red and the blue. Then we're going to finish up by leaving a gap of 2 again, destroy a row of 3, destroy 3 rows in front, and we're going to have yet another little blue concrete area just like this. Perfect. So this is what we have so far. And we're just going around, we're marking out all of the areas. So the next area that we're going to have is just on the right here. So this is kind of going to be a little bit of a free weight slash stretching area, stuff like that. So right of this window, we leave just 1 row gap, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the ground, and then we extend forwards 1, 2, 3. So we have 3 by 5, 5 by 3. Actually, it'd be 5 by 4 actually. And then it's up to you whether you want to use blue concrete or red concrete. It is actually completely up to you, to be honest. I mean, I like the blue, only because, I don't know, it feels as though it's wrapping around the room. It doesn't matter though. So, what else do we want to do? On the opposite wall over here, we actually want the exact same thing, and I do mean quite literally the same thing. So, like, from this map, we'll leave a gap of 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, and, well, that's sort of it, really. I mean, for the matted areas. We might put 1 in the middle, but then we do have a conundrum of, like, what colour. Because we could literally place 1 in the middle, right? Kind of like this. And do we make it red? Do we make it blue? I don't know. I mean, we could try red. There's no reason why we couldn't. Or do we leave the red concrete area just at the back by itself? But then I sort of like this effect. So, you know, it's really inconsequential. It's really up to you guys. So, I want to have a front desk. I don't know what colour concrete to make this. We could even make it terracotta. So, we could from this window place 1, 2, 3 terracottas. I want to grab the smooth quartz stairs and smooth quartz slabs, and just across the back wall here, 1, 2, 3 slabs. Gonna stick a stair on the ground here, and there we go. It's as simple as that. It's just a little desk area. We don't really have anything else that we need for the desk, unless we put like a flower pot here and up here as well. And we actually have enough materials to make 1 or 2 of the contraptions in here, so let's do it. So we need the end rods, we need tripwire hooks, we need polished black stone wall, some red carpet, and some oak trapdoors. We'll start off with this. I want to begin by placing a bench. This is made out of using 2 polished black stone walls right in the center of this blue concrete mat. Red carpets on top. Along this back wall here, I want to place tripwire hooks that are just on the outsides of the matted area. In between these, I just want to place 3 end rods. As long as the end rods are, you know, like, as long as the ends look like this, it doesn't really matter what the middle one looks like, because there's no way of winning with it, really. And then what I want to do is I want to place trapdoors on the outside of the bench area. So I'm using oak just because it looks a bit more like a cage. Like, it looks as though I mean, if you guys have ever seen like a power cage or a power rack, like a lot of them have like holes and stuff in them that you can place like pegs in and safeties and stops and what have you. So I imagine with the I imagine with the oak just looks a little bit better. I mean, the only thing that I might like better than this is keep falling. The only thing that I might like better than this is if I was to be able to place there we go. We can place them on top and then over, and then just got to flip up here. Some iron ones, but it's impossible. So, or at least I don't think it's possible on Bedrock without using a little bit of black magic wizardry. So, I'm quite happy with the oak. I think it looks pretty nice. It kind of vibes with the tripwire hooks. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. And that's just like a weightlifting cage, a power cage, however you want to phrase it. So just to the right here, we don't have everything, but we do have a decent amount of stuff. So this is going to be like one of those, I don't even know how to describe, like one of those cable machines with all the pulleys and stuff. So along this back wall, I want to place 1, 2, 3 diorite wall, 1, 2, 3 extending up, then an anvil specifically facing like this way, and then 1, 2, 3 diorite wall, 1, 2, 3 diorite wall like this, and I want to place iron trapdoors on the top, just like this. So this is across the entire thing. We might have to do a little bit of crouching though. There we go. This is better. Well, it's not better. It's actually a little trickier. I wish they would have just placed onto themselves, but what can you do? So here and here, and we don't have anything else that we need at this current time. So we will be using some repeat materials, ladies and gentlemen, just to let you know. But we'll just kind of progress around the gym, and let me just grab everything that we need. And again, there will be some repeats, but oh well. Okay, I've grabbed everything that we need for this next part. We will be needing some more stuff, and there are a lot of repeat materials as well. Let's continue. So, this is the cable machine. We have to attach some chains from the anvils upwards, like this, or as I'm going to refer to them, as cables. They're chains, but you know, what can we do? So we then have to place more chains on the inside here with some handles, and we're going to use oak fence gates for these. So in reality, and we're going to open these as well, in reality there would be like a pulley system that would allow you to grab these handles, the chain feeds through, and there's like this wheel thing, and whenever you like pull this, it lifts the weight up, and that's how you get your resistance. But this is a pretty decent close second. I'm actually quite happy with how this looks. So the next machine that we're going to make, it's actually a similar sort of idea. It's kind of like a pull-down machine. It's a very similar concept to this, but it's only but use like a big handle and you can like be seated and stuff. So the way that we're going to do it is we need to place an anvil right in the middle of the back wall here with 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, polished black stone wall extending left and right, joined together at the top, couple of chains extending down to the anvil like this. In front of this, we have to have like a seating area. So that's going to be a smooth quartz slab, quartz stairs, string left and right of the slab, black carpet across the slab and on top of the string as well. And then we have to place a slab. So this is going to be a polished blackstone slab here, just in front of the top of the chain. And then we can place end rods on the left and right. There we go. That looks pretty good. So that is what you would grab. That's just, I mean, what we could also do is maybe a carpet. Nah, because a carpet isn't centered, but it's okay. The slab doesn't actually look too bad whatsoever. So we can just have that, and like you sit down, your knees are like underneath this padded area, and you pull it, and you can do all sorts of stuff. So this is kind of like the more heavy weight-centered area of the back of the gym. So the next area that I'm going to make is just to the right, and this is kind of like more like a bit of a free weight sort of area. So we're going to have upside down quartz stairs on the left and right sides of the mat area here, and then smooth quartz slabs in between. Specifically, I want to see the ends of the stair. Like, I don't know why, but I just like being able to see where the stairs connect to these slabs, you know? Then we have to make a mirror, and I'm realizing we actually forgot a material as well. We'll just grab that now because it's quite an important material. If I can ever find where we keep them. Here we go, wither skeleton skulls. So these are meant to just look like weights of some sort. So you got to use your imagination a little bit, but they look like weights of some sort or some variety, and I just want those placed on top of this bench area. I have some shulker boxes as well. I have a red one as well as the yellow, and these are supposed to be like those exercise balls that you like sit on and perform exercises, but I'm not sure that I like having the red one because we've already got a lot of red in the gym, so it's up to you whether you want to customize the color. And then above this, the idea is that we would have a mirror. So we're going to use looms. Well, just one loom, some light blue banners. We'll need light grey dye, white dye, and possibly grey. And I'll explain why. So, I'm going to throw the loom down. Open it up. Light blue banner in there with some light grey dye. Create a gradient effect. Doesn't matter which one. I'd say probably lighter at the top. No, actually lighter at the bottom. It'll make sense in a little sec. So grab that, put that back in, white dye in there, and then actually that looks really nice with the white gradient as opposed to the. Okay, so I'm gonna do the light grey gradient and then the white gradient because why not? Then I'm going to add a diagonal of white. Grab that, and then this is a mirror, right? So the mirror actually wants to hang just like in front of this, and maybe even an extra row above. So like we could have like a double high mirror. But as I'm making this and as I was thinking about this, I actually sort of like this sort of as is, right? So I quite like that. Because what I was going to do was I was going to put this back in here with the grey dye, and then I was going to add a row of, where is it? I was going to add a, oh, that is the effect. It just seemed like a lot of the mirror taken off. I was going to put like a frame on the mirror like this, right? And I was going to make it look like this, just so that it looked as though that the mirror had a top. And then what you can also do is you can put this mirror back in with the grey dye again. And then you can add like a side to it, like this right side here. And then we can destroy that. We can put that there. And then if we clone this mirror and we put it back in the loom, put some grey dye in there, and then we can add like the left side. And well, actually, we need the left side, right? And then we would need a little bit more black dye. I probably should have took the middle mirror instead of like the like clean mirror, so grey dye. And then we can put this in here with the grey. My bad. This in here with the grey, and then we can have it on top as well. So clumsy today. There we go. And then this. It just makes it look as though that the mirror has an edge. Like, I like the look of it. And something that you can do is you can actually use every single one of these banners again, and you can just hang them up above. And the bottom of the banners kind of like cover any of the... Like it covers the lower banner, so you can... I mean, if you wanted to, I mean, you could, you know, make it higher and higher and higher. It doesn't matter. I mean, that's a ludicrous sized mirror, actually. But, you know, anyway, the point is up to you. So it's you might want just one row, you might want two, you might not want the frame. I don't know. It's kind of up to you completely. So sorry that took a really long time, but you know, it's a little bit to think about anyway. So I'm going to get rid of that and that. So the next thing that we have to do is we have to make some treadmills. This is made using smooth quartz slab, some quartz stairs. We need a polished deep slate slab. Very, very difficult to say quickly. Some levers, and we need some iron trap doors as well, which we will just grab from here. And also some birch trap doors. Or you could also use paintings as well. Plus we need a little bit of black concrete. So anyway, I want to make some treadmills. The treadmills are relatively easy to make. Oh, we will also need the birch planks too, because otherwise we're going to have to remake this. So the treadmill is going to go to the left of this window. Like on the front here, we're going to have a load of cardio machines. So the first treadmill is going to be a smooth quartz block. Can use 2 slabs, and then a quartz stairs on top of it. And then for the control panel of the treadmill, you could use a flipped up trap door, you could use a painting, you could even use an item frame. We'll experiment, we'll see what we like. But we need to place 2 polished deep slate, that's so hard, polished deep slate slabs in front of the quartz block. And we're going to place some birchwood planks all the way around the treadmill. And on the left and right side of the treadmill, iron trapdoors. You could even use oak trapdoors if you wanted to, because then you don't have to mechanize them. So underneath here. And basically, I mean, you guys can already guess what the levers are for. It's just so that we can activate the iron. So I don't know whether there's an easier way to do this. I think that we just have to dig another row. So I don't know whether there's an easier way to do this other than like digging underneath. I don't know whether you can actually use just like blocks of redstone and stuff. But I'm pretty sure that I wouldn't be doing that. I've probably tried that. But torches might also work actually. But there we go, perfect. And there's your treadmill, nice and easy. If you want to try the painting, you might prefer that. I sort of do like that, but an item frame with a glass pane, a lot of stuff you can do. So, we have one treadmill. The next treadmill is actually going to be 2 rows away from this. So the next treadmill will be in front of this white concrete here. So you guys already know how to make this now. So a block of quartz, quartz stairs on top, painting. I'm going with the painting, I actually like how it looks. Couple of polished deep slate slabs. I find that so hard to say. Some birchwood planks, or most of the way. Yeah, it is going to have to be all the way around. We'll leave a little gap here. And then iron trap doors on the left and right, like this. And then we can just kind of like come underneath here, and we can destroy all of the torches we've already placed. Good job. So, we need to place here. There's the right position, right? So here, and then, oh, just directly next to it. So here, here, and here. Only 3 of them. It feels as though, I thought it was... I guess I placed a little too many. But anyway, we can drop back down under. 1, 2, 3. I don't know why I thought it was 4. And then those trip up. Perfect. And then that's a great looking treadmill. I really like the effect of it. I think it looks great. So, there we go. A couple of treadmills. And I'd recommend placing a TV in between them, just like this on the wall. Painting in the TV. Perfect. Or painting in front of the black concrete. So, a couple of black concretes above the window, in between these, painting in front. Perfecto. So, next to this, we are going to have 2 exercise bikes. Now, the exercise bikes are a little bit easier to make, but it does use some of the same ideas. So, we need the birch fence, we need iron trapdoors, levers, birch fence gate, polished black stone stairs, and that... Oh, and also some black carpet as well. So, in front of these 2, like, white concrete pillars, we're going to place 2 birch fence extending outwards. I want to have a fence gate on top of the first fence, so like extending backwards like this. On top of the second fence, black carpet, polished black stone stairs extending out the back, because of course it doesn't want to have 2 sets of wheels because it's meant to be stationary. And then we have to sort of like just dig around these as well. And the reason being is because we're going to have to place some trapdoors on these. So, get rid of all this, add some birch. We're going to have to dig a hole. Maybe just out of the back, maybe. So, just out the back here. Or maybe we'll just, like, dig down directly. So, here and here. Just to actually, yeah, just to make it a bit easier. And here. So, I want to place iron trapdoors because there is, of course, 1 wheel on these that does move like this. And then we're going to drop down underneath here, and then lever. That gets extended up. Drop into this hole, add a couple of levers. And then finally, this one as well. Lever. Perfect. And then, if we just fill this area in using the birch planks. Perfect. So I think that these make some pretty decently convincing exercise bikes. I really like them. I think they looks pretty cool. And in between these as well, I'd have the exact same thing. I'd have a couple of black concrete, painting inside, easy peasy. Now, I don't suppose you can place a painting in front. No, you can't. Never mind. Okay, so what else do we have here? So we can make some punching bags. So that's made using chains and red shulker box. We can place a computer. That's a weighted pressure plate, birch trapdoor. We can make some healthy looking drinks. That's a green candle. And there might also be some other stuff with the materials, but I actually can't think of it right now. So on the left side of the gym, I'm just going to add a row of light grey concrete just along the ceiling line here. And I want to have shulker boxes suspended from the ceiling by chains, just 2 red shulker boxes from the chains, preferably doing a better job than me. So underneath like this. Perfect. And those are all punching bags. And then a computer. This is a weighted pressure plate with a birch trapdoor in front. This is just for the front desk. And then candles, of which I forgot that you cannot place on non-solid blocks, it would seem. But what you can do is if we place a couple of, just maybe a single green candle and then stack them together here on the right. And then destroy these, place some slabs underneath. Boom, there we go. They'll just stay in place. That's looking pretty good, and they just look like supplements or green drinks or, you know, something healthy at the very least. Gotta use a little imagination, but that's okay. For this central area here, whilst we have we don't really have the materials, but it's okay. So, I'm thinking a couple of benches in the central area here, so maybe like one on each, or maybe just like this left side here has a couple of polished black stone walls, and then maybe we'll change the color of the carpet actually. We could have it in black, or maybe we could go blue, or the inverse, or maybe we could even go grey. But anyway, like a couple of benches for weightlifting or what have you. And then I like the idea of a couple of mats, so these would be more like yoga mats or something. We could have blue carpet, we could have like orange carpet. I don't know why I think of as a yoga mat colour, but we could have like, I mean, we could even have them face the opposite way, so we could have something like this. And maybe even one in the middle too, actually, so like this, so like a couple of mats. We could make one or two blue, leave one orange. And there we go, like kind of like a free area. And then, honestly, just to kind of, like, finish things up, we don't need too much more stuff. So, like, an armor stand, chest. So, oh, we could even have, like, some speakers in the gym, too. So, like, an armor stand in between the punching bag area with, like, a chest. So, like, you can grab some gloves and you can just go to work on the heavy bags and such. We need the, so, the note blocks... it might be an idea to place them strategically in the gym. So maybe like here, just in this side of the gym, and then maybe like one in the corner of the desk, just to make it look as though like it's playing, because obviously gyms quite often have music going. We have the birch planks, which are of course to do the floor, so we can have all of this dug out and replaced with birch. Like this, but we also have a ceiling as well. So the ceiling is going to be made out of, we'll need some light grey concrete, and we'll wait to do the ceiling, but I do want to grab the stuff, some light grey concrete and some white glass, so we can dig out all of this grass here, replace it using the birch planks. And it'll just look good. Like, I like how all of these sections, the different areas, have kind of like the concrete, except for like the exercise machines, but that's okay, because I didn't really want this whole place to look like a jigsaw puzzle of like concrete. It's like, I like that it's just, I don't know, like I like how certain areas are highlighted and certain areas aren't. Like, if the whole thing was just like all colourful concrete, it's like none of it might as well be, if that makes sense, you know? So we can have all this dug out, replace that with birch, and that all looks good. It just looks like a nice gym. Like it looks like it's got stuff going on. Like it's not too crowded. And the way that I want to divide up the ceiling is, in between the windows that we have on the front, this is how we're going to do it, right? In between the windows that we have on the front, I'm going to place vertical rows of, or just long straight rows, I should say, of grey concrete. And I want these in between the door and then these 3 windows here, so these 3 windows specifically. Then I want to cross this, and I want to place light grey concrete on the sides here. So I want to place light grey concrete on the sides of the central part of the gym. So this will hopefully make sense in a second. So it might just look as though I'm placing just like a load of lines, but if we drop down into here, you'll be able to see that we have areas of the roof mapped out that are the size of the, like, they're left and right of these windows, and we also have these big areas just up above the central part of the gym, and those are going to be skylights. So I'm actually going to fill in the front and back portions of these. The only reason that we place like these big long rows is to kind of like find the central point, so we just want to fill all of this in using light grey concrete. And we don't want small windows either, so we just want to have, like on the sides and what have you, we can just seal these up using light grey concrete. And then we've just got these 3 rows. Is it 3 windows or is it 4? We've got these 4 windows, these 4 skylights just up at the top. And we can just fill the back in here, like this. Perfect. And then, if we add some white stained glass here, then I don't know, like it'll just look how I want it to look. So it will just let enough natural light in, but not too much, and it kind of just highlights the center of the gym, you know. And I think that the end rods will keep it bright otherwise. Feel free to add lanterns, but this is the inside of the gym complete. So the only thing that I'm thinking about now is for the outside. So let me do a little bit of experimentation with this bike rack that we talked about earlier, and let's see if I can make one that looks okay. So all I can come up with really, and it doesn't look too bad to be quite honest, is to make a bike. Now, this is honestly the first bike that I've actually had a decent attempt at, and it might be made out of wood, guys, but it's still a bike, and sure, the wheels are square, so it probably wouldn't be a good bike, but you guys get the idea. Feel free to, you know, make your own version of this, but just by placing a bike like in the middle of this area here, and then placing iron bars on the left and right, it's probably about as close as I can get to like a little bike rack area, and I'm quite happy with it. I mean, it looks okay. You might want to swap out the wheels for like iron trapdoors, and I mean you can of course customize the seat and the carpet and the fence used, but I'm quite happy with it. And in doing that, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, there's not really anything else that we can add other than, I mean, you might, and this is just the last bit of detail that I'm going to suggest because this video's going on a lot now. You might want to add some posters around the gym. So you might want to add, like, you know, a poster or two about the place. So, you know, just because they are in gyms a lot. So, and then we could maybe off-center these jukeboxes then, because I don't really want them like right next to it, but then it grips onto the machine, but it's fine, I guess. And then we can have like a couple of speakers. I mean, we could just straight up just put the speakers in the four corners, and then that probably circumvents this problem, because it's not that noticeable that the speaker grips. But yeah, anyway, that's the small gym. So this is what your gym will look like once it has been 100% fully completed. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this tutorial. If you have, please do remember to hit that like button, as it helps me in the channel out very, very much. If you're new around here, please do consider subscribing, clicking that little bell next to the subscription button. That will ensure that you get all my videos sent directly to your sub box. And if you do want to make anything else by me, check out the card system, the description below. I post short tutorials, long tutorials. I'm doing a lot of city related builds at the moment, but I do just random stuff on the channel, as you'll see if you do subscribe. If you do check out those playlists, there's a quick builds playlist and a city builds playlist for you. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I love you all very much. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.